So you've seen the glamorous side of trading Forex, the potential for huge profits, and the freedom to work from anywhere. But what about the other side, the side that's really talked about? Today, I'm going to be diving deep into the often overlooked sacrifices every single Forex trader must make. A lot of people don't tell you this, but there are a ton of sacrifices that you have to make as you embark on your Forex journey. When you go on Instagram and you type in Forex trading, you see all the cars, you see all the money, but oftentimes there's a lot that comes with that you don't see. The first thing you have to give up is time. The Forex market is a dynamic beast. To stay ahead, you must be a student. You must be constantly learning. You can't ever think that you know it all. I've got roughly about 6+ years of trading. I'm still adding things to my trading strategy, and every now and then, once I've back tested something enough and I've seen some good results from it, I then like to go ahead and start sharing on that thing. If there's something that you can add to your strategy that gives you a high risk reward, then why not? Also, you don't have to do this, but it is a plus if you do understand how to stay up to date with economic news. And also, guys, as a price action trader, you're going to be looking at price a lot. When you're looking at price, when you're doing your back testing or you're doing your forward testing, that is going to take time. I know people that want to back test for a very short period of time and then all of a sudden they think they got it. Or people that want to forward test for like 1 or 2 days and think they have a strategy that just blasts through the market and that they dominate the market. Guys, it's not true. You have to spend a lot of time forward testing and seeing those same things play out again. The more you see it, the more you're going to believe in what you're seeing. And then once you believe in what you're seeing, you're going to be able to take action on what you've seen. What also takes up your time is when you're doing your analysis. You guys can't just wake up in the morning and just hit buy or sell. Well, technically you can do that. That's more so gambling. That's not what we do. We don't do YOLO trading. You need to analyze the markets. I remember when I was analyzing the markets when I first started trading, I had a big issue. And that big issue was I'll be analyzing as many pairs as possible. And I thought that because I could analyze this much pairs, I was a G. I was the guy at this. I was analyzing like 15 to 20 charts every single night. It would be so time consuming. It would take me hours, 2-3 hours to go ahead and analyze the market. Guess what? I believe I was actually doing something. I believe that I was untouchable. If you were like me back in the day where you have tons of Forex pairs or tons of pairs that you guys are analyzing, you guys need to scrap that. You need to go back to analyzing less than 5 charts. I'm not saying you're going to be trading all 5 at once. Just start bringing it down. If you can bring it down to 1 chart, I know people that have traded 1 pair and grown their account to all kinds of heights. The more pairs you analyze, the more time it's going to take. And when you have all those pairs, it's mentally draining. It just takes the energy out of you. And oftentimes you will find yourself falling asleep. And especially those who work a 9 to 5. You're coming home. This is what I was doing. I was coming home, working a 9 to 5. Then in my evening times when I should be spending more time with my family and working on a grind, obviously this was the grind, it takes the energy from you. It zaps all that energy. When it comes to time consuming, it's important to read books, go on courses, potentially find a mentor because they're going to speed up the process. But in doing all of that, it involves lots of learning. I know people that jump onto my mentorship, some of them have jumped on and wanted just a quick fix. And I've said, look, this is not a quick fix. You have to come in and learn. Learn how to trade, because once you learn how to trade, no one's going to be able to take that skill from you. And also, guys, this is not like your 9 to 5 job. It's not like your 9 to 5 job where you start from 9, you finish at 5. No, this is a 24/5. The markets are constantly moving. And sometimes, especially if you're working that 9 to 5 job, you're going to come home and you're going to be technically working again. So this is working outside of your traditional hours, especially if you're not doing this full time. There are times when it's euphoria, tons of excitement. You're on top of the world. You feel like you're the boss. Everything's blessed. Everything's going in your favor. You feel like you are untouchable. And there's times when you're feeling despair. You're feeling like you're just so low. You don't want to talk to nobody. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want to talk to nobody. You're just down. You're down and out. You've been taken out of the game. Throughout your journey, you're going to be constantly having these emotions, highs and lows. Just like trading in general, there's highs and lows. Your emotions are going to be going up and down as well. I remember times when I was trading and I made so much money and I was on top of the world. And there were times when I had blown accounts and just didn't want to do anything, was just down throughout the whole day. And it's so important not to allow your emotions to dictate how you behave. If you guys have been trading Forex for long enough, you guys know what news does. News has the ability to take you out the game instantly. And so you can be in some heavy profits and then all of a sudden you're in a negative, you're in a minus, you've lost money, you've probably even blown your account. You might feel like, yes, I'm in the right direction, and then you do a quick 360 and now you've blown your account. It's a constant roller coaster of ups and downs. It really plays with your trading psychology, and if you're not strong enough, you could be taken out of the game before you've even learned anything. And another thing that plays with your emotions is the fear of loss. The fear of loss can paralyze even the most experienced traders. Fear can lead to hesitation, indecision, and poor trading decision. I know people who are afraid to take trades, and so when they will see the setup, everything's working in their favor, everything's good, everything's Gucci, but because of their fear of loss, they don't enter the trade. But the crazy thing is, they will just watch the trade go. They'll watch the trade go all the way to their potential TP. My biggest way to combat that is trade an amount that you're comfortable losing. Let's just say you are comfortable with trading £100. You want to risk 1% per trade. You can only lose £10. If you put it that way and say, hey, I can only lose £10 in this trade and I fully accepted it from before I've even entered the trade, then all that emotions, all that fear leaves. One of the ways to get out of that is just to take action. So once you've seen everything align up, you've back tested, you've forward tested, just take action. Take action a few times. Tell yourself that whenever I see this setup forming, I'm going to go forth and take that trade. And gradually over time, you should be able to break out of that fear of loss. And that's exactly how I broke out of it. First, I hesitated to get into a trade because I didn't want to lose money. I then got involved in the trade, and because I was in drawdown, my emotions were even more all over the place. But as time went on, as I gradually continued, that fear of loss went. And the very last thing I'll say about emotions is the constant pressure to perform. The pressure to perform can be overwhelming, especially when you're trading real money. When you're using real money, it can affect your mental health, especially if you are losing all the time. And so I always say, if you're not winning, if you're constantly losing in these markets, constantly giving your monies to the brokers, then I suggest that you take a break from trading. And when I say do something else, literally like do whatever makes you happy. You have to remember that. Because of that emotion roller coaster, you're going to be feeling some lows. During them lows, do something that makes you happy. One thing that I like to do is I like to go to the gym, or I like to play some football. I like to eat food. I like to spend time with family. I like to do activities with family and friends. And so those are some of the things that make me happy. Whenever I felt down, I did not stay down because I was doing things that would then lift me up again. Another sacrifice that is constantly overlooked is the financial input. Starting a Forex trading career requires an initial investment to open up a broker account and fund it. You need to have enough money in that account to withstand the market fluctuations. This money needs to be money that you are comfortable losing. And you need to have enough money to trade the amount of money that you want. You can't be trying to make a few grand with £100 in your account. Yes, you've seen all kinds of people say they flipped £100 to 1 million or £100 to 100,000. I don't believe that stuff. Guys, don't be trying to do something crazy where you're flipping £100 to a couple of grand. I know it's all out there now. We got people flipping £100 to 1 million or attempting to do it at least. Don't get all sucked into that, because although they might be able to do it, which I don't believe it anyway, it doesn't mean you can do it, especially if you're getting into Forex trading. How likely are you to do it? It's very unlikely. When it comes to financial input, you have to have good risk management. A lot of people are trading with some terrible risk management. They don't know what on earth is going on. They're risking a really high percentage of their account and they're constantly blowing their account because of it. I remember when I first started trading, I was risking about 30% per trade. And basically, I would blow my account within 3 trades. That is a very poor mindset to have, as a very poor approach. You don't want to be doing that. You need to be risking 1%. Some people risk 2%, but I say 1% or less, because it's going to keep you in the game long enough to actually grow that account. So you've had a really good trade, you know you've gone against your rules. This is just way too much you're risking. Because it went well, what do? You're gonna go ahead and do that again. This time, you might even want to potentially risk even more. Once you do that and you lose that trade, you're technically on the verge to blowing your account. You don't want to do that. You want to give yourself enough chances to grow that account. 30%, 3 trades, you're done. 1% could take you forever to blow that account. Don't be that person jumping in with all kinds of lots like I did when I first started and, blowing accounts. Also, when it comes to the financial sacrifices, you have to remember there's lots of education out there. It's important to get some kind of educational material, some kind of education before you just jump in and start YOLOing. I remember I had spoken to somebody and I said, how did you start trading? And he literally just said, he saw the markets was moving up one day and said, I'm just going to jump in. I'm just going to just jump in. When I see price moves 10 pips to the upside, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Yep, played himself. Since he told me that, I've not heard from him again. I'm pretty sure he's blown some accounts right now. You want to get prepared so you're ahead of the curve. If you want access to any of my courses and my mentoring, the link will be in the description. I've helped tons of people pass all kinds of funded challenges and become 5 and 6 figure funded traders. The first 10 people to sign up to the course and the mentorship can use the code in the description and get 50% off. I invested in some education. When I first started trading, I didn't want to just YOLO into this. I wanted to get some kind of fundamentals down first before I got involved. And so I got involved in a course, learned everything I need to know, that I was able to add on things from there. The whole point of having a mentor is learning from their experiences and learning from their mistakes so you don't have to make them. Also, guys, there's various costs associated with Forex trading. TradingView is a free platform where you can go forth and analyze your charts and you can trade there too, but it is limited. There are ads that pop up, and if you don't want ads, you're gonna have to pay for that. And another fee that most people don't talk about is if you don't want to put your own money into an account, you can go ahead and sign up to do a funded challenge. That often costs money, and a lot of people don't pass the first time. Some people fail about 20 challenges. And just imagine if you're paying £100 per challenge. If you're paying £100 per challenge and this is your 10th challenge, you just spent £1,000. And not only that, within funded challenges, there's options to reset that funded challenge. That's also going to cost some money too. You might have to pay maybe half the price sometimes. These are some of the hidden fees that nobody talks about. And one last fee that nobody talks about is the broker fee. Whenever you place a trade, there is a charge to place that trade. So for example, if you have a raw account, which basically means when you place a trade, you're in the trade there and then, or it just means you have really low spreads. You're using a one lot, it costs you roughly about £5.50 to place that one lot trade. That is a fee that is taken out of your account. And especially when you're adding multiple positions, those fees tend to add up. Let's move on to the fourth area that's often overlooked, and that is the social sacrifice. The demand for Forex trading can limit the social activities and time spent with family and friends. Trading needs commitment. You need to be consistent. You need to be committed. Sometimes your trade might not set up on Monday. And so you might be in front of the charts, for quite some time waiting for your trade to set up and it doesn't come. It might not set up on Tuesday, but it might set up on Wednesday. I tell my mentees all the time, sometimes it might not go to plan on Monday. Price is not moving the way you want it on Monday, but it's going to happen sometime during that week. And if you can stay focused, stay committed, and take action when that time does come, you will be fine. All you need is one trade to gain a decent percentage. In doing all of that, it's going to take up a lot of your social time with friends and family. That's why you have to make sure you're intentional about spending time with your friends and families and doing activities. Sometimes I'll be trading and we're hitting the afternoon, and these are the times I need to hit the gym. I need to be exercising, I need to go and get them gains. But sometimes I might be in a trade, but at the same time, I'm going to go to the gym. I can't be that person who's just chilling at the gym and watching their charts between every single set. Guys, in the gym, you need to remain focused. If not, you can get injured. And then sometimes what's happened in the past is sometimes I've cancelled the gym. I've not gone to the gym because I was still trading. And what made it even worse is when I was in a drawdown, because now you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to go anywhere because you want to see yourself in profit. So this is why it's important to set boundaries and prioritize your social connections. So if you say you're going to do something, make sure you do it. If you say you're going to be going out, you're going to be doing this activity, make sure you do it. One boundary that you can set is when it comes to the time I should be leaving for gym, I'm not going to place any more trades. And the trades that I'm currently in, I'm going to go ahead and risk-free them or take some partial profits. And that's also why it's important to set TPs, because if you can't look at the charts, you better make sure you set a stop loss and a TP. I've been in gym sometimes and prices run up into my take profit area, but because I never placed a TP target after the activity that I'm doing, I've seen price at my entry. Also guys, Forex trading can be a solitary endeavor. You know you're in this by yourself, especially if this is what you do. You're working from home trading, you know this is a lonely game. It's a lonely road. Sometimes you might find yourself talking to yourself. Let's just be real. It is what it is sometimes. But this is why it's important to have some kind of connection, some kind of Forex community, be a part of some kind of Forex group. I have a trading community. I speak with my mentees, my students and mentees. They're able to speak with each other every single day. They're able to chop it up. We've got people talking about economics. We've got people talking about futures markets, the foreign exchange markets, gold markets. That keeps you going as well, because there's other people who are going through the same thing that you're going through, and you can bounce off of them. There's been times when people have talked about how do you overcome analysis paralysis. That's the importance of having some kind of Forex community. If you don't have a Forex community that you can be talking to throughout the day when you can, then go ahead and hit the link in my description, join my Forex community and start chopping it up. So before you go ahead and start thinking is Forex trading for you, you need to make sure you understand the full cost of Forex trading. I'm not necessarily talking about money, I'm talking about everything else that surrounds it too. But in saying all of this, if you're able to acknowledge all those things, put things in place that allows you to overcome these things, throw in perseverance in the mix, Forex trading can be very rewarding.